Okay, let's talk about. We got a question here from Jason about what time we had to get there for Michter's. I don't know. Who wants to tell this story? Brendan gets paid to talk for a living. Ben's the funniest that we have on here. So who wants to tell the Michter story? Let's start with the Michter story, and then we're going to talk about some takeaways. Then we're going to review this rye and get the heck out of here. So we'll talk more about Louisville as we continue to do content, but I'm trying not to keep you guys super, super long tonight. Not that there's anything pressing that Brendan and I have to do tonight, but Ben or Brendan, who wants to talk about Michter's?
I guess I'll start. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you wait until I started talking to start talking?
I have no problem with giving the rundown,
Go for it.
The old down run, right?
Little down run.
Okay. So last week, if you're paying attention, I specifically said that my one thing that I want to do is hit up the Michter's pour your own bottle experience. As much as I want to do the tour, I really wanted to prioritize the pour your own bottle. And they were selling that as like a separate side add-on, I knew. And so I'm like, okay, worst case, we don't get a tour because at that point we didn't have one. We'll just show up and try to get there. We try to get to the pour your own bottle. So we had a listener reach out who heard that.
Patrick. Shout out Patrick.
Shout out Patrick.
I mean, the biggest shout out. I think we probably should send Patrick a sample.
He's gonna get a care package. Patrick will get a package specifically from TJ.
A care Patrick's.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, he said, "Hey, let me reach out and I'll touch base if something works out." So we get the go ahead from Patrick and was like, "Hey, you guys are taken care of. Here's your appointment time. It's at 12 o'clock on Thursday." Like, that's great. We fly in at 10. We'll go right there. Hit the ground in Louisville. We head straight over there. And I said, "All right, we're here to do the tour." And at that point, I was thinking, we have a tour that's booked. Thanks, Patrick. That's great. Let's ask about the bottle because I
forgot about this aspect.
And so we said, "Hey, are there any available?" He goes, "No, we've already sold out of everything today. Everything's all booked, but come back tomorrow early in the morning." I said, "Okay, that's fine. Like, I'll show up at 9 a.m. Like I said, it's the only reason I'm there." So they tell us that we have the level tour 1 booked, but we have a level 2 tasting. And I was like, "Oh, that means we get into the Michter's 10 profiles from just the base." I'm like, "Great, Patrick, you're a boss. Way to go." So we do the tour. And as we're doing the tour, that same area is where you do the pour your own bottle. And I'm like, "Oh man," I'm looking over there at it. And some couple walks in and they do their own little pour your own bottle. I'm like looking at it to the side eye. I'm like, "Man, I think it's freaking sweet. I really want to do that. We're come back tomorrow." So we go back to the tasting room and we taste the entire baseline of Michter's, the 2 10 years, and they let us sample the Michter's 10 bourbon, which is part of the pour your own bottle right now. It's either barrel strength rye or barrel strength bourbon. I said, "Okay, sweet." She goes, "We also have another surprise for you." And I said, "Hello?" They walk us out to the barrel your own or pour your own bottle section, and there's 3 bottles all set up, ready to rip. And I'm like, "Oh, shoot. We're in. We're freaking in. This is the dream." They told us that it was all booked up, but they had spots reserved for us. Great. I'm more than excited to get it in and out here. And so we filmed the entire thing. We bottle it. We sign our names on it. What an amazing experience. And they said, "All right, why don't you guys head up to the bar and hang out for a bit?" I said, "Okay, this is a great day. We're headed up to the barbershop."
God,
I king of the castle right now.
I forgot all about that. I forgot about the bar at the end. Jeez, what a day. What a first hour in Louisville.
So we head up there and we're hanging out, relaxing. We order, a couple drinks. And, from what I could tell, most of the bars in the distilleries there's no break on any of the whiskey pricing wise. And so we order a couple of cocktails that are specifically made for the Michter's bar, which was really elegant. Great experience up there. Mm-hmm. So we go to settle up our tab at the bar and they're like, "Get out of here." And I said, "What? This sounds great." So we tip our waitress and bartender pretty well, go down the elevator, walk to the front door. And we're like, "Hey, we're here to settle up for the tour and the bottles." They say, "Get out of here." And I was like, "Holy crap, Patrick. Where you at, bud? Where you at? Shout out, Patrick. What a freaking hookup. The experience at Michter's, like I said, we had just landed in Louisville. Major hookup. Like I said, we're going to send Patrick some care packages. But we had an amazing experience. Look, if you're watching the video right now, can you see the joy in Brendan's eyes as he is pouring his own bottle of Michter's?
This is what most, this is what most husbands look like when their wife walks down the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like the glimmer in their eye. Like this joy is amazing. Like
we're going to have to find my wedding photo and compare it to this. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Ash.
it looks like it looks like in Pulp Fiction when they open up the suitcase and there's this heavenly glow. That's what's happening.
So anyway, we had an outrageously amazing time at Michter's. Thank you, Patrick. I want to specifically shout out our tour guide, Chelsea. She was incredible. If you're ever there, be sure to tour with her. Tip her well because she's an awesome tour guide. But other than that, Michter's was the best experience. I mean, how do you really beat that? It's ridiculous. But yeah, great time.
The rest of Louisville was really, really good, but Ben is right. Like it was really all downhill from there. And we saw a fantastic game on Friday night that was a ton of fun. We drank Willet 9-year Purple Top. We got to go to a really, really cool bar and do some other stuff. Nothing like that Michter's experience totally ruined us for the rest of the trip because we had to I'm a big on, you guys gave me a hard time for this all weekend. Like I have to qualify everything. Every time we would go have a good experience, we would say like, oh, this is pretty good. Now that Michter's thing though, that was on another level, but like, hey, this experience that we had was really good too. Nothing the rest of the weekend been spot on compared to how good that Michter's weekend was. Like just unreal hookup, unreal fun.
Also, how about the fact that the Michter's barrel strength bourbon isn't even distributed outside of Kentucky, and so if you would have got there and had that day, they could have been bottling the barrel strength rye, which I have, but I don't have the bourbon, but now I do because it's mine. It has my name on it.
Yeah,
finders keepers.
And to me, the coolest thing, and Kara said this when I got home, was I've always been like the biggest Michter stand. I've got a ton of the toasted stuff. I've got a ton of the barrel strength stuff. I didn't have this barrel strength product. But it was cool that it was Michter's, the distillery that we all really, really love, the distillery that we all really, really wanted to get to. I would have loved it. If we would have had the same exact experience at Four Roses, that would have been amazing. And I like Four Roses a lot. But the fact that it was Michter's, and I absolutely love Michter's to death, made it so much cooler. Brendan, do you have a big takeaway from Michter's? I know we've talked a lot about it, but
walking in, the smell of it first off was so incredible. So like the floors are from, I think, wood from the 1700s, so it's got that musky smell, but then just the mash, like that sweet corn smell, it was like pops or pop cereal, like just amplified to like 25. Like it was just heavenly smell right away. Our tour guide Chelsea was amazing. Nick was really hospitable. He was the GM of the bar, and he was really friendly and great. Again, a huge. I can't even like. It was something that before the trip started, we didn't know if we were going to be able to do it. I was so overwhelmed by it all. Thank you, Patrick, for helping hook this up.
Brendan blacked out for half the.
He did.
I wasn't even. I was drinking. I was literally like, it was all spinning. We'd gotten up at 3:00 in the morning. Like my flight was at 5, so I'd gotten up at 3. I was tired. I was dizzy from like traveling and getting there and making sure we got there in time. And then we met this nice gentleman who liked my Bourbon Hunter shirt because he had a Bourbon Hunter license plate, and we talked Ken for about 40 minutes or so too. So I was just like overstimulated and overwhelmed. And then we started the tour. The tour was amazing. Like that in itself was a ton of fun. The tasting was great. I love Michter's products, and like it was so cool to be able to taste them all back to back, and then the 10 years like added to it. It was awesome. And then they were like, "Hey, barrel strength bottle for you guys to take home." It was amazing. It was such a cool experience. Michter's is first class all the way. Even if we like didn't get hooked up with it, like I just overwhelming. It was amazing. Great.
Yeah, I was excited to pay for it. I was like, "This is great. We got in. I'll have to come back tomorrow." So incredible.
Yeah. So again, that was how we wanted to start. Like that's what we wanted the most out of the trip, was that experience, and then some. And we got it right away, and we weren't anticipating getting it. So everything it sets such a great tone for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
I think we would have been thrilled with just a regular Michter's tour where we
Yeah.
tried,
100%.
where we just got to do a tour of Michter's and we tried the rye, the bourbon, and the sour mash and called it a day. Like, we'd have been thrilled with that. That'd have been a great, or the American whiskey, whatever. That we'd been happy with that, right? Because we couldn't find a tour anywhere. But for them to go so much further above and beyond was really, really pretty neat.